Hello, everyone, and welcome.
Or welcome back
to the Wizarding World Legacy Podcast,
where we discuss the magic of the Wizarding World's past, present,
and future. We're your hosts, Eric
and Jasmine.
And with spring upon us and summer on its way, we can feel a lot of buzzing anticipation for the upcoming HBO Harry Potter television series.
That was a B pun, wasn't it?
It was. Yep.
Yes, there is quite a lot of buzz.
That's another one.
Going around about this series and everything that's coming our way, and it's approaching very fast.
It is. Last episode, we talked about the documentary behind the scenery.
Special.
Yeah, special for the Harry Potter series. Finding Harry?
Finding Harry.
How some of the things were going to be changed from how we saw them in the film adaptations. Some of them we liked.
Yeah, some of them I am curious about.
Yeah, a little apprehensive, if you will.
Yeah.
And others we're just going to see how they pan out.
Yeah.
But in keeping with that, there was the Licensing Expo 2026 in Las Vegas, and they showed off some of the costumes. And
the
they
uniforms.
They look pretty sweet.
So we got the Slytherin and Gryffindor Quidditch robes, and then we also got the Gryffindor, official house uniform type deal.
And starting with the Quidditch uniforms, they talked about how they drew inspiration from some real-world sources, like
fencing and British motocross.
Yes.
When we say motocross, are we talking like motorcycles?
British motocross might be different than American, but I believe it's more like dirt bikes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're riding around on dirt bikes, like racing.
Yeah.
Name of the game is racing. And then fencing. I didn't really know there was too much of a fencing uniform. I think that all of my fencing knowledge comes from The Parent Trap, where I know that they got the little face shield and the white thing. Also, I saw some fencing on Modern Family. And that is that is the extent. So
what about, did you ever see Wednesday?
No, I did not.
She fences. Yeah, so fencing has a specific uniform, and the chest piece is like a thick material that if you're, jabbed with it, it's not going to stab through and
puncture something.
Because even though they are blunted tips, it's not going to feel good to be hit. It's kind of like padded and thick.
Okay, cool. Okay, so this makes sense. There's a lot of things in Quidditch that could hit you.
Plenty of things.
Some things are trying to.
So if you look at the front of the Quidditch uniform, you've got obviously the cape, which we are familiar with from the original series. They did it sort of as a cape style, but your arms went through it. Whereas this one, it is just around the neck, which I like.
It looks very If
you look at the neckline, it just kind of looks like there's little buttons that they go onto. And
yeah, it probably clips right here, and it's over the shoulders. It is sophisticated.
I was torn between sophisticated and regal.
Yes, regal, also a great word to describe it. The buttons all the way down both sides.
So the buttons down the side are very fencing uniform-esque. If you can see the texturing of the chest piece there, that's a fencing uniform, and is very similar to what we saw Gilderoy Lockhart use during the dueling club.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he had something like that was very fencing inspired.
Very purple.
And he also had the cape, which would have been like a fencing cape.
Okay, so maybe we're taking all of our inspiration from Gilderoy Lockhart?
I mean, he did it right.
Yeah.
In terms of style and whatnot.
The things that he did well.
Yeah. Memory charms.
Exactly. Memory charms.
Attire.
Mostly memory charms. But with the Quidditch uniforms, we've got sort of the very practical, fencing and motocross, but they always make sure to tie the 90s back in.
Yeah.
So the capes, we got the geometrics, we have the lines. We've seen Harry's cape from the back. So it's got
the patterns on the back.
Yeah, it's got patterns of just fabric sewn together. It's not necessarily distinctly different colors.
It's still the house colors, but you're getting those geometric patterns you would have seen on the jogger suits and stuff like that from the 90s.
Exactly.
The windbreaker suits.
So we're casually combining fencing, motocross, and 90s tracksuits. Brave, but doing it so well.
You've also got elements built into it that they were quite intentional about, the fact that it's rain repellent by using waxed cotton. And there's wind-resistant qualities to it. And they reinforced areas that would have more wear due to bending and flexing.
Yeah.
They even specifically talked about how in the legs, they wanted it to make sure that they could bend and sort of wrap their legs below the brooms. Because how else are you holding on? There's not actually foot pegs like we saw in some of the ones that were done for the movies. Their legs were just down, dangling underneath the broom. And so they would sort of flex them together and interlock their ankles. So that they could hold on.
That sounds so uncomfortable.
I know, for like games that could go on for
hours or months.
Yeah, that's wild.
This whole like using like waxed cotton and all that stuff makes me very curious about like exactly where wizarding culture would and would not use Muggle technology. Because like waxed cotton is like a Muggle thing.
Well, it is a Muggle thing because obviously we live in the Muggle world and we do those kind of things. But that would have been something that wouldn't be like modern day. Waxed cotton could be from ages, like literally using beeswax.
Right.
Running your strands through beeswax, and then all the stitching is done after the fact.
Right, but it's a Muggle technology.
I mean, it's a natural technology. That's a natural rain repellent.
Okay.
And with their emphasis being so much on everything sort of drawing from nature,
okay,
kind of makes sense.
No,
nature's water repellent is wax.
So then where is the like line? Like Arthur Weasley is like shocked by a rubber duck, and he's shocked by...
What is the function of a rubber duck?
He's shocked by like all these different things, like the underground trains.
And the turnstiles and just like the simplest of things.
Right, the simplest of things. And so...
Fellitones.
What's that?
Telephones. Electricity.
Electricity. That is a fair point. I think I'm just curious about like why they wouldn't adapt like actually helpful Muggle technology.
I guess it depends on how you see it to be helpful. You know, if you think about things like communication, they could do things like phones. Would that be more convenient? Sure, it could be more convenient, but then you have to think about the fact that most electronics get messed up by magic in the wizarding world.
Okay.
And so you'd have to come up with some sort of magical solution to that. And then you also have the fact that they can send each other letters by owl, which seem to get there relatively quickly. They can send each other messages through Patronus, which can get there very, very quickly.
Right.
You
That's
can
fair.
use flu networks to basically talk, sticking your head in the flu and then talking to somebody on the other side. There's all sorts of communication methods already in place that are just as, if not more so effective than how we communicate. It needs to be a solution to an actual problem, not just something that makes it easier for the sake of making it easier. That's how I look at it. But I do think, yeah, it's interesting. There's obviously some elements of Muggle design, Muggle fashion.
Right.
That is making its way into the wizarding world. It's also a little bit of an interesting change because I think when we see the illustrations in the books and when we have seen it represented in the movies, we didn't see as much of that.
No.
Like everything was very much, I think we said it in our last episode, everything was sort of halted in time.
Yeah.
And I liked that about the movies. I liked that about the illustrations in the books. It was kind of like, that's how you knew it was Wizarding World. It was sort of suspended in time.
I think that's the hard thing is that like, if the Wizarding World truly were like exclusive, I guess, like if there wasn't as much overlap between the Muggle and the Wizarding World, it would make sense for more of it to be halted in time. But because kids are coming from the Muggle world, because wizards are going into the Muggle world for different things, like
you almost see this, especially in the sort of aristocratic Slytherins and stuff like that. You almost see, I guess the comparison I would make is if Muggles were to see somebody walking around with like the newest technology, you know, like when iPhones were really becoming more popularized or the Apple Watches, if you saw somebody with like the newest, latest, greatest iPhone, you're like, oh, damn, that dude's doing okay. He's got like the nicest iPhone. That person's got like the nicest Apple Watch. That person's got like, you know, the newest technology was impressive. For them, they would see that and be like, oh, look at that peasant Muggle using the Muggle technology. Like it's repulsive to them. So it was like they were suspended in time, but it's not because they couldn't, it's because they didn't want to. That was almost repugnant to them. Like, I don't want that. It's so Muggle. Wizards don't need these things because we're better with our magic than for some of them.
Sense. Well, it makes sense because Arthur is so weird for his fascination with Muggle everything.
Yeah.
But it's...
Whereas like somebody like Lucius, he's probably actually got candles lighting his house and not a single light bulb.
Right. And Lucius thinks it's disgusting that Arthur is so interested in Muggle technology.
Yeah. Which is ironic because the Malfoy family got a lot of their riches by working with Muggles, both in like Muggle trading for like stocks and stuff like that, companies, all sorts of things. That's how they got a lot of their wealth. A little bit hypocritical and ironic, but...
Hippocrates, thy name's Lucius. Okay.
But yeah, interesting point. I'm glad you brought that up.
But sort of getting back to what we were actually talking about, because tangents are my favorite thing. The Quidditch uniforms, very intentional, wax cotton, really built durable. We're not doing anything fast fashion. These are built to last, even though the kids are growing quite rapidly. Do you think that they can just magic it to fit the next year?
We kind of talked about this with how they could get like robes that become house specific if they were to do that. you could go to Madame Malcolm's or whatever, and there could be a charm on it where once you're sorted, it sort of switches some of the material into that color or whatever.
Right.
Likewise, it could basically like know the size of its wearer and have a charm on it where it kind of grows with you.
I like that one. That seems much more financially responsible.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do that. Otherwise, that doesn't help the sort of issues with the Weasleys where they're like, you have to use hand-me-down robes because you can't afford new robes because we don't have the money. If you just bought one set of robes and it grew with you, it wouldn't be a big deal.
I think it would be. I think your initial set of robes is probably really expensive, especially when you're on your 7th kid.
Yeah, but if your 7th kid, if it grows with them, you only ever buy them the one pair of robes. And if it grows with them, you wouldn't be handing them down because they've grown.
This probably isn't going to happen. No. You make a great point, but
it would be a cool way to solve that problem. Think about that, wizards. You guys are not
Come
creative
on, wizards.
at all.
Gosh.
Need some muggles on the cabinet here to think of these things.
Beyond Quidditch,
we have the other robes, which is more what we were getting into. They used kind of an interesting technique in weaving the different house colors together to make up the 4 house colors of Gryffindor, Slytherin, Ravenclaw, and Hufflepuff into real woolen tartans. I like that they're leaning on the Scottish tartan kind of design.
I mean, they're in Scotland.
Yeah, it is in the Highlands of Scotland.
Scotland.
And it's nice to have all those woven together in a single tartan.
Unity.
It's also nice that they're using local Scottish suppliers for real wool. I mean, like, it just has to look good on set. It could be the cheapest material ever. And they're like, no, we live in a place full of sheep.
I think someone made that point.
In the documentary, yeah.
Yeah, in the documentary. They're like, it's covered in sheep.
So we should be using real wool
and
making tartans. And that's what they did. And they used local suppliers from Loch Carron, Scotland, and there was another place in Scotland that they used as well. And I just like that. You do see lots of sheep and Highland cows when you're driving around in the Highlands. And
cut. Now you're English again.
Well, I'm English.
Shut up.
You want me to be British?
Shut up.
They're all British subjects.
No. But yeah, no, I love that they are using local suppliers, benefiting the economy within the area. It's cool.
If you think about the amount of jobs that this is making, you have the people who actually like raise the sheep and shear the sheep and sell the wool. And then you have the people who spin down the wool into its actual usable, fabric. And then you have the people who do all the dyeing of the wools. You have the people who actually make the tartans themselves. Because oftentimes these are like different groups doing all these segments of the same task, essentially. And then you have the retailers that are, selling the actual wool and everything else. You're making all these jobs. When you think of a movie production, you're mostly thinking of the movie production roles like, yeah, you have costume design and all that kind of stuff. But you're thinking about the actors that it's giving jobs to, the cameraman, the grip guys that are, doing lighting and electric and everything else, the grip and spark, if you will. Most people aren't thinking about the actual people in the community that these are giving jobs to, and there's a ton.
Tons.
Yeah.
So this is the Gryffindor one. They didn't have the rest of them on display, but what I'm wondering is, do all of the students wear the exact same tartan, and then it's the like sashes and the ties that are house specific?
That's a good question. Or is the color within the tartan more boldly stated towards the house that you're in?
Or both.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine everyone's going to go around wearing that red. Also, the red is like red, it doesn't look like
maroon,
scarlet or maroon. It's like a red.
So it'll be interesting to see how they tie in the different elements of the uniform and elemental-Ps of the uniform, and to see what parts are made house specific. We have some casting rumors. Apparently, Kevin McKidd,
Dr. Owen Hunt,
is being eyed.
Stop it right now.
Is being eyed for the role of
Arthur Weasley.
Indeed, because we've not had Arthur Weasley's casting revealed yet, which is upsetting.
We've basically every other Weasley.
I thought maybe Simon Pegg would sneak into here as Arthur Weasley. He did for the books, for the audiobooks,
right?
Cast audio editions, yeah.
On Audible. We need Arthur Weasley. I have been advocating for this for some time now. It's very important advocacy work that I am very passionate about. Kevin McKidd basically has said, I don't think it's me, but if this rumor is gonna turn into something real, I would be thrilled.
He was actually approached to be Fenrir Greyback in the movies. Did not take the role. I don't know why. I couldn't find out why he turned it down. But It sounds like he regretted that a little bit. And when he said the idea of getting another crack at being a part of such a big series would be amazing, it sounds like he's stoked and would definitely take the opportunity to. And I think he's a little bit older, but I think that's okay for Arthur because they have older kids. Mm-hmm. So I think you can make his age work. And I can't remember, Molly's in her 40s.
Yeah.
I think it would be fine.
I think it would be fine. I definitely, like you said, I think he's a little bit older than the ideal actor. However, I think he could do it.
With makeup and everything, you can make him look a little younger than he really is. Outside of Grey's Anatomy, I don't really know his acting. I haven't seen him really in much else. But
yeah, I was going to say, I've only seen Grey's Anatomy.
That's a stroke.
Just cut me.
I'll leave that to a surgeon. So with that in mind, we have some more Weasley news to discuss.
Angels fly away from set.
Gracie Cochran, who was cast as Ginevra Weasley for the first season,
isn't dead.
No, although this does very much look like something you'd see at her funeral.
Exactly. She's leaving us.
I was so excited to see her play Ginny.
So excited. I thought she was one of my favorite castings. But after season 1, she has decided to respectfully part ways with the production.
The family basically just said she'd no longer be portraying Ginny for unseen circumstances, but did not elaborate as to what those
circumstances may be.
It sucks because, obviously they expanded, or at least they said they've been expanding some of the story to include a bit more backstory on each of the characters, including like Ron. So we're going to see elements of like Ron getting his letter at home at the Burrow in season 1. Or at least rumored that's what we're going to see.
Rumor has it.
And so we're going to see a little bit more of Ginny. So this is going to be one of those, like, you see Ginny, it's clearly Ginny in the first season. And then second season's going to come around and it's like, who's this person? Oh, this is Ginny? But I thought we just, like years later when the series is done, you're going to be like, okay, it's so random that we have this girl in season 1 who was a perfect visual casting of Ginny, and then she's just gone. And it really sucks because in season 2, she was going to have like a huge role.
The role.
Yeah, she was like the main protagonist, sort of, sub-protagonist in season 2. What do you think those unforeseen circumstances were?
I think that there is a million different reasons
We're going to speculate right now.
A 10-year-old might not want to participate. I mean, I have a lot of theories. Like, what if her parents pulled her? Like, her parents felt like it was, interrupting her schoolwork, or they
built a school there for them.
Okay. What if it wasn't good for, like, her physical health? Maybe she needs more fresh air. And
a lot of the sets are outside.
Okay. Well, maybe it's not good for her mental health. There was bullying.
Yeah, so I wonder if she was one of the bullies. And she was actually kicked off set, or she was a bully.
Absolutely not. I am not putting that out into this.
That fiery little ginger.
No, stop that. Stop that right now. I am not putting that out there into the world.
She could have gotten bullied, though. She
could have gotten bullied. So I think that there's a million and one different things. I think it's possible that, none of the child actors have ever, most of them anyway, haven't had major roles yet. So it's possible that they didn't fully understand what they were getting into. It's possible that...
Although the parents should have.
I'm assuming that there were pretty intense negotiations and contracts. Like, what are we doing? Anyway, I think the interesting things to think about are, what if her parents pulled her? And 10 years from now, how mad is she going to be to see, like, if this does successful and the new Ginny is, like, just an absolute phenomenon? I would be so mad.
Well, but part of that's going to come down to the acting, right? If the new Ginny is a phenomenal actress and her part is just really, really well received, part of that's going to come down to the acting itself.
I know it is, but to have been this young and landed this role and have this opportunity, if my parents pulled me for whatever, yes, and of course I love my parents, and I would respect a decision that they made if it was truly in my best interest. But I'd be mad.
I'd be mad too. Although it sounds like she's still going to be acting in some capacity, not in the series, but it sounds like this is going to open up opportunities for her in other roles down the road. She's just not acting right now. One of the press releases had suggested that she is going to continue acting, just not right now.
Interesting.
Which is like, I don't know, maybe a 10-year commitment is just too much. It is a big commitment, like 10 years of your life. You're talking about like you're going to be doing this until you're in your 20s.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I don't want to undersell that type of commitment at all. But like that should have happened previously.
Yeah, before you agreed to it, you should have been like, oh yeah, we understand that she's coming on at like, I guess she would have been coming on at like 10.
10.
So yeah, till you're 20.
Which is a huge commitment. I get that. I do. But like maybe I don't sign up for it in the first place.
It's really more than a 10-year commitment too, though, because you're still going to be doing press tours after the fact. People are going to still want you to come back for interviews. There's going to be like the 5-year anniversary, the 10-year anniversary. You know, we see
Daniel and Rupert and Emma.
And the girl who played Luna Lovegood. Alana
Yes.
Lynch, sorry. And then Matthew Lewis.
The Phelps twins.
So yeah, we see them and stuff all the time. And it's been years and years and years and years for them.
30 from the book. So
In any case, it's sad that we're not going to see her coming back. I would speculate that if it has nothing to do with the bullying stuff, perhaps it was like she spent her first year of filming. She was not a major part of the series yet. In the second film, she has like a huge role.
right.
Maybe it was like, wow, this is a huge commitment, even when she's basically on screen for like 5 minutes at a time. This is insane. If we're going to go into next year and she's going to have all this time on screen, she's going to be this important of a character. I don't think we can do this to our kid.
That's fair.
That's what I would speculate it probably is, because it's really hard to understand that and commit to that ahead of time. Even if you understand the time commitment in terms of, yeah, this is going to be the next 10 years of your life.
Right. How many hours per week?
Yeah, or even per day. Because, you know, they're child actors. There are child actor laws in terms of how much time you can spend on set. But there's all sorts of ways to skirt around that. If they're like, all right, well, you're only working on set or behind the camera for this many hours, but you're going to be on set available to us in case we need to get a cut in for you for another scene or whatever. And you'll just be doing your schoolwork or whatever. So, like, you need to be available pretty much at all times.
Right. And that's really hard to work around, just like as a family, as a kid.
Yeah, just drop your entire life. And they have to have a chaperone on set, which is usually a family member, although you can pay to have one appointed for her.
Right.
But
it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. I am very curious to see sort of like how this pans out. Like, what if she stops acting and then she just like goes to school full time and goes to college and then goes to get a job? What if when she goes to get a job, the people are like, so why did you call off Harry Potter?
that'd be crazy if that many years later, being in just season 1 as a sort of side character, if someone's like, so why'd you do me dirty on Harry Potter?
Okay.
Why'd you bail out?
Well, I had this whole, like, I don't know, I really went into this morning and I was just thinking, like, what if she's like interviewing one day? I was like, okay, 30 years from now, 20 years from now, what if I'm interviewing her in some weird world and I see Gracie Cochran and I was like, I know who Gracie Cochran is.
And she's just like,
Now listen here, sweetie. Why did you bail on Harry Potter?
Exactly. I'm like 800 years old at this point.
yeah. And Grace is like, listen, old lady, move on.
Gracie's like 30 and she's like, girl, you legally can't ask me that.
Move
and
on.
I'm going to ask you to just get it together because this is not it. I think it would be very interesting and I'd probably ask. Maybe not in the interview, but I would probably ask. I'm just nosy. I get it. Anyway, I really do wish her all the very best. I think that she is adorable and maybe has a bright future ahead of her.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'm upset about is that I think she would have done a great job.
Yeah.
No, so not upset at her, just upset that it's not working out. Thanks, Gracie, for the dedication to season 1.
In other news.
Uplifting news. Quite literally uplifting, if you think about it.
Okay. Yeah. Season 1 has wrapped.
And they decided to have a cast party at Thorpe Park in Surrey. It's a theme park in the UK. It's in England specifically. Kind of funny that they would choose to go to a theme park like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of
theme parks have rides.
Rides have height limitations.
A lot of kids on this show.
A lot of young kids on this show.
Really young.
That aren't going to be tall enough to ride many of the rides. And that was apparently an actual problem that some idiot who planned this whole thing didn't think about.
Nope. The whole cast went to Thorpe and there were a bunch of kids that couldn't go on any of the rides because they were so little.
Yeah. In Thorpe Park, it's like, you know, you have some amusement parks, you know, around us, they have Canopy Lake Park in New Hampshire, where there are rides that, less tall people can go on. Although
Arguably shorter.
Yeah, although there's still plenty of rides that you can't. I can't be like, you have to be like 48 inches or taller to ride on. And Thorpe Park has a number of rides where you have to be like over 50 inches to ride. So the height restrictions are legit. And if you're too young, you're just not going to be that height unless you're freakishly tall.
Right. So
Unless you're Millicent Bulstrode or something.
Right. And not every character is Millicent Bulstrode. So I think it was curious. Regardless, it looks like they had a fun time.
It does.
I think that they probably enjoyed it. I'm hoping they got a good laugh. Can you imagine Harry Potter is going to celebrate the Harry Potter season 1 and Harry Potter can't ride the rides? Like, that would be funny.
Imagine being told you can fight the darkest wizard of all time, but you can't ride on
Right? Like,
you can ride on the Firebolt or on the Nimbus 2000.
Right. Oh, you can make a 10-year commitment to be the main character in a 10-year television series, but you can't go upside down on this loop-de-loop.
Actually, legitimately thinking about it, they're on set, strapped to broomsticks, being thrown around by crane arms.
Okay.
I mean, they're actually on scarier, likely more dangerous apparatuses than a roller coaster.
And they're probably going to be the most well-trained roller coaster riders that you could ask for.
And they can't go on it.
And they can't go on it. I just think it's so funny.
That's asinine.
It really is.
And more asinine is the idiot who thought that this was where you have your rap party.
Yeah, I don't know what we were thinking there.
Maybe like final season you do this, but...
Right. Maybe when there's a whole lot less younger than 12-year-olds.
Yeah, little kids.
Teeny tiny. Anyway,
Crazy.
I'm very, very glad that they got to do something so fun after working.
That some of them got to do something so much.
Some of them.
That sucks.
It's still probably fun.
BAFTA awards?
Yes, the BAFTA Awards in London.
I know they're down. And most of the, I should say most
Not
of the
most
cast.
of the
A
cast.
good chunk of the cast were spotted there.
A few members from the cast.
It was a good no, so not all of them were spotted on stage, but a bunch of I think Dominic ended up being there in some capacity.
I was going to say, I know Catherine Parkinson, Lox Pratt, Papa Asiadu, and Nick Frost.
And then a throwback to old Lucius.
Right, but I'm talking cast members. I got 4 that I know of.
Yeah, I think Dominic was there, just not somebody who was like on stage. And I think several other members were there, just not on stage.
Got you. So yeah, the ceremony happened, or what is it? What do you call it? Ceremony? Event?
Yeah, the BAFTA ceremony.
BAFTA ceremony.
Ceremony.
And Nick Frost and Papa Asiadu presented an award together. And
I think they were like main presenters.
I don't get the BAFTA channel, so I didn't watch it.
I just don't watch award shows. I don't care.
That's also true. But besides that, apparently, Papa ended up calling Nick Frost Hagrid while on stage. So,
which is awesome.
Which is pretty awesome. Very subtle plug for the new show.
I wish she called him Snape.
Oh yeah,
but maybe
that might have been too on the nose or too controversial.
Yeah, it might have been too controversial. Is what I'm thinking. Catherine Parkinson did actually win a BAFTA award. And Lox Pratt was there because he had his role in the
Lord of the Flies.
Yeah. Apparently, he also gave an interview after that where he's like, yeah, I think I want to play bad guys from now on.
Which makes sense for who he is and what he looks like. I watched the first episode of The Lord of the Flies. He's very, very good in it. It's a good show. I recommend checking it out, even if you're just getting a taste for what Lox Pratt
has to offer.
I think it was another reminder of how much older Lox Pratt is than the rest of the kids.
Yeah, I just feel like it's going to be an issue.
I feel like it's only going to get worse.
At least for the next 2 to 3 years, it's going to be a big problem because he's going to be like a legit teenager. And you're going to have these little tweeners who are like still, hi, my name's Dominic McLaughlin and my voice hasn't dropped yet. And then you're going to have Lox Pratt who's like, what's going on, Harry?
Dominic, we don't think you sound like that, FYI.
Not yet, but his voice is going to drop and he's going to get the squeaks and he's going to sound like a dork. And then Lox is going to...
Yeah, but he's going to sound like a dork with a Scottish accent. And that's...
No, he's not going to sound like a dork with a Scottish accent. He's not going to have a Scottish accent because he's playing Harry.
No, not on the TV. I was talking about just like in real life.
Yeah, but on set when he's trying to deliver his lines.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine going through puberty, having your voice crack?
No.
No.
No, I cannot.
I've never done it before. No, but going through puberty, having your voice crack and trying to consistently speak in another accent.
And trying to just memorize your lines.
Yeah, it's
As
a
a
lot.
child.
That's
Yeah.
a lot.
It's a lot to ask of Dominic.
Props to you, buddy. Anyway, BAFTA happened.
Words are not our friend this morning.
No. Mm-mm.
We did see, as I had alluded to earlier, our former words really are not our friends. Our former Lucius Malfoy with our new Draco Malfoy. And they got a couple of photos together
Pretty adorable.
or something. Honorable mentions for news.
Just random updates.
Random updates. This one peeved.
Yeah, I'm a little
Same
upset. They decided that in some of the props and things like that,
Like
that
pretty much
they were,
all of the props at this point.
like all of the props, they're adding microchips so that they can track them. First of all, I'm going to have a really hard time trying to buy actual props on the black market because I know how to access the black market, obviously.
It's on eBay.
It's eBay, I guess. I don't know. But besides my selfish interest, I feel like one of the like fun things I hear about in so many of these interviews with actors and actresses is like, oh, well, what did you take from set? Or like, what did you accidentally bring home? Like, I feel like that's always been like one of my favorite things to hear about. It's sweet, it's cute, it's pretty innocent.
Although stealing is stealing.
Okay. But oftentimes it's something that they used a lot and it meant a lot to them. And so I'm just like a little bit peeved that that's no longer an option because if you do, they will find you.
Literally. Well, you know, it's kind of funny that you point out it's something that they use a lot because Papa Asiadu was on a podcast and he was commenting on this being an issue for him because he's like, you know, we're supposed to be getting into character and learning how our character behaves, you know, with a costume and with the wands and all this stuff. And he said, you know, and I can't take my wand home and practice.
So he's using chopsticks.
So I'm using chopsticks. And it's different. I mean, just looking at the one here, just the form and texture of the handle, you've got to figure out where you're going to grip it. If you're just pulling it out of your robe, you got to figure out where you're going to grip it, where it makes sense. How are you going to hold it to make certain wand movements?
Plus, all of the wands probably are shaped and contoured differently.
Yeah, it is something that can affect performance, I guess, of the actor and how they interact with different things, different costumes, and granted, you just sort of have to figure out the costume aspect of it because depending on who you're portraying, that's not something you're going to have at home. But there are elements of it that I would think you'd want the person to get used to in their day to day so that it's like, it's an extension of them.
Right, exactly. So the actual practical side of it aside, if a character wanted to just like casually walk off set with something like this,
Or like this.
or maybe something like this,
Or, you know, something cute.
something
this,
adorable,
you know?
exactly, just a lot of sentimental value,
Yeah.
mother, daughter, family heirloom, they
Right.
couldn't do that because they're microchipped.
Yeah.
And it's just like the future is sometimes nice, but also I hate it.
Yeah.
Just let them be. Just let them be.
You know, just put an Apple AirTag on it so that they can be like, oh, wait, I'm being trapped by an Apple AirTag. And then they can find it and ditch it. And then they can still sell it to me or something.
Or something like that.
But don't steal. Stealing's bad. Yeah. In other merchandise adjacent news, Elf on the Shelf. I'm convinced that the Elf on the Shelf crossover is legitimately simply because they are releasing this on Christmas.
Yes.
I love the look of disgust on your face. There's so many things wrong with this crossover to me. One, like Christmas magic is its own thing. To have like the crossover of Harry Potter magic with Christmas magic, it just doesn't make sense. Number two, Elf on the Shelf, you can't touch the elf who's dressing him in this Harry Potter attire. Is the elf dressing himself? Because if the kids touch him and if they want to play with the elf on the shelf that's dressed up like a wizard and make him cast spells and whatnot, he loses his magic. That was not thought through at all.
I don't like Elf on the Shelf.
I think it's creepy, yeah.
I think it's creepy. I didn't have it when I was a kid.
Me
It
either.
unsettles me. So like,
It's also like a weird way to try to get your kids to behave. Hey, by the way, somebody is constantly watching you. There are always eyes on you.
right? Like,
And if you don't behave, he'll know.
they'll tell someone about it.
And you won't get anything.
Like what?
It's
Like
weird.
and I get it. Like the Santa's always watching thing. Like,
Well,
he
he knows
sees
when
you
you're
when you're sleeping.
He knows when you're awake. He knows
Like,
if you've been
I
bad.
get it. That's been the narrative for some time now, and it's been somewhat effective.
But not because he's had some creepy elf spying on you.
Right. Not because someone's in your home constantly watching you.
Yeah, he just knows.
He just knows.
He knows if you've been a
He
little
gets
dick.
a vibe.
Yeah.
He vibe checks everybody. And if you don't pass the vibe check, you ain't getting nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
There's a vibe filter that goes into the naughty or nice list.
Right.
And all of a sudden it's just like switch. Yeah.
Exactly. It should be very streamlined at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm against Elf on the Shelf, period. Although I do really enjoy sometimes those like funny things that like parents will do with the elves on the shelf. Like, you know, like make them draw on the kids' faces.
Snorting a lot
It's
of
not
snow.
funny. I've got Skoo. That's a really good one. Other greatness has been achieved through Elf on the Shelf. But I still hate it, and I don't think we needed to dress them up. My theory on dressing them, though, is that they come dressed, or they're dressed overnight. And so, like,
I'm certain that's what'll happen, but
I'm wondering, like, if parents are going to do this, the Elf on the Shelf will come normal Elf on the Shelf. And then, like, the day of the premiere, Christmas, they will put the little Hogwarts stuff.
you know what they need to do?
What do they need to do, Eric?
This is where the memes could get pretty good
Okay.
with the elf on the shelf. You need to have one crucioing another one because he's been naughty.
Oh,
Yeah, because he's been naughty. Yep.
no.
Yep.
No.
Wait, now they can crucio you if you've been naughty.
Eric, no.
This just took a dark turn.
No, Eric.
All right.
God.
Well, elf on
my
the shelf.
God.
It's going down a dark
Yeah.
tunnel here. Yeah.
Exactly. This is why we can't have this.
Right. Don't do it.
Just don't do it. Anyway.
Also, just parent your kid instead of letting a stuffed animal do it.
Yeah.
Another honorable mention, if you have not yet seen the Cupra commercial, Cupra, it's a car company from the UK, starring Tom Felton, looking very much like either grown-up Draco or Lucius himself. Mm-hmm. You're missing out.
It's well done, but I just can't get over the resemblance.
Yeah, it's crazy. And just like the faces that he makes during it, I thought for a second that it was AI, but he actually did do the commercial.
Well,
I mean,
sometimes people think we're AI, so.
yeah, somebody did say that to us. That was kind of
Someone
weird.
did say that to us. I also made a work call one time, and they asked me if I was a robot.
Did you go, hello, this is Jasmine calling from, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
You got to see it. I'll try to put it in the description below, the link to it, so you guys can check it out. It's pretty good. I like it. But it does make me think that he is always going to be Draco.
Oh, yeah, that's just not, like, I know he recently did another movie. It doesn't matter.
This frame in particular, I had a couple different frames that I was choosing from, but this one screams Lucius Malfoy.
Uh-huh. Especially, like,
It's the mouth and the eyes, the way the light's
Yeah.
hitting his eyes. It's like, oh no, Draco. And you may have heard, although we wish you hadn't, that there is going to be an official Harry Potter television series podcast.
yes, it's going to happen. They are going to officially produce it.
I think there is already an episode up.
However,
Something to consider.
bias.
Yeah. This podcast that we're talking about, not this one, that podcast, is going to be put on by the individuals who want you to watch the show, who will tell you whatever they need to tell you to get you to watch the show and to buy the merch and to do all the things that make them more money. Whereas this podcast, the WWLP, if you will, is just going to bring you the straight up news, straight up reviews, and our honest opinions about all them things Harry Potter.
Nothing skewed here.
So while we are admittedly huge Harry Potter fans and do want to see the franchise succeed, if there's something we don't like about it, we're going to say it.
And we've done it before.
Yeah, much to the chagrin of viewers. Yeah. Yeah. We've had plenty of people call us out on numerous different things, numerous different opinions, or just the fact that we did reviews on a documentary.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to probably just keep doing that.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's fun.
This is fun. That's what we're here to do. And we're going to be doing episode breakdowns. If we don't like things about the episode, we will say that. If we love things about the episode, we will say that. If there's something that we might have thought through differently or done differently about an episode, we'll try to share that too.
Oh, and I'm just so excited because there's going to be like all of these little things. There'll be nods to the books and Easter eggs, and interpretations, and I'm really excited.
With that said, I'm probably going to check out the official film podcast because I want to see if they're going to be in a position to share things about the filming process that obviously we're not going to have access to. But if they do, I'm probably going to end up commenting on some of that here too. So you can always just come here for all your news related to the Harry Potter franchise.
Yeah, you can.
We'll have it for you.
Just come here. And if you want to be, I don't know, reminded to come back here when there's new content,
You can subscribe.
you can subscribe.
You can hit the bell
The bell.
so that you're notified every time we post a new video.
Exactly. But definitely subscribe.
And, if you do like the content, feel free to let us know by leaving us a like and or a comment. And if there's something else that you want covered specifically, let us know. There is one more tidbit of news. Shepperton Studios honored the late Dame Maggie Smith by unveiling the Maggie Smith stage. It was done at a private ceremony attended by her sons Toby Stevens and Christopher Larkin, just to honor her time as an actress and what she has brought to the community of acting through her years and years of dedication.
I loved Dame Maggie Smith.
Yeah, she was really wonderful. I was not as much of a fan just initially of Downton Abbey. I don't know if anybody here watched Downton Abbey, but she just made that show worth watching, honestly.
100%.
She was so
So funny.
so sarcastic, her little witty retorts. She was that sassy grandmother that everybody loves when they're not on the receiving end of her
Yes.
sassiness.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch. It's not fun to be victimized by. Because it hurts.
Yeah. I don't know, she was just she seems so sweet. Like, she seems like somebody you'd genuinely love to just kind of like sit down with, have some tea, just kind of like shoot the shit with, and hear some of her witty retorts about whatever, about anything, really.
I agree.
Yeah.
I do agree. What?
So that's the last bit of news I had. There has been some rumors circulating about the casting of Ginny is already underway, obviously.
Yeah, I would hope so. We're getting pretty close to starting season 2.
They're going to go down the list of people that were like runner-ups or
Close.
whatever and just be like, hey, she walked away. We know we rejected you, but
Do
if
you
you'd
want
like
to be
another shot,
unrejected?
yeah, if you'd like another shot, we'll cast you now. I don't think they're going to recast. I think they're just going to like pick somebody who has already gone through the process.
I imagine they'll bring in some people and then just do like dynamic tests
Yeah, they'll
with
probably
like other
have them
cast members.
probably have them interact with like Dominic and Alistair Stout and
Yeah, Fred and George maybe.
yeah, probably maybe Percy because she's got to interact with Percy a few times.
Molly.
Molly's not going to. Well, we don't know. I guess what they're going to do for backstory in episode season 2.
But Molly is in Dumbledore's office when they're sort of going over everything that did happen to Ginny.
True. So is
So-
Arthur, and we don't know who that
Still
is.
don't know.
No.
So we're coming up on that. So I'm gonna need a casting sooner rather than later. There's also been a bunch of rumors about Hogwarts Legacy 2.
Yes, a ton of rumors lately
Tons of them.
because they said they were gonna. The rumors were that they were going to try to drop it around the same time the series premiered or shortly thereafter.
Exactly. Which is weird because why would you plan to drop something just after Christmas?
Yeah, when the sales could be huge before.
Right.
I'm sure they could do pre-sales. So I don't know how they're going to do it. Are they going to drop the announcement for it and be like, by the way, it's been in development. It's coming out. It'll drop like summer or whatever, or it'll drop at this time.
Maybe like the commercial will air during the first episode.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay. I'm seeing that tie together.
I don't know how much longer they're going to take with this, though, because if they're going to tie it in with the TV series, which was one of the rumors, they're going to need to have trailers for it, and they're going to want some time for people to get hyped up about it. And
Right.
then you want to release it at a time where financially it makes sense. Like people are going to be buying it as gifts for other people, or they're going to be buying it.
January is usually not that time.
No. January is the time where like, I'm not going to be spending time in front of the PlayStation or the computer. I'm going to be at the gym. And that lasts for all of a month for most people. Even summer's not a great time because people are taking vacations and going places. So
Right.
if you want them locked in.
I feel like November is like,
Yeah, I feel like getting into the fall, even if you did it before, actually September would be like back to Hogwarts.
ooh, Back to Hogwarts would be a good release.
Yeah.
But I just I'm thinking about the game Fable. I've been excited about the new Fable that's coming out.
Yeah.
And it's not coming out until like November. But I looked into that like a year ago or something. Like it's
Yeah.
been a long time.
Been a minute.
At that point, they had like a full trailer.
They had a full trailer. They had actual gameplay available to watch. They had actual dialogue for like NPCs that you'd interact with.
Right. So
we have nothing.
We have nothing. We have rumors. I think the most recent one I heard is that they're trying to make it so that you can go from London to Hogwarts without a load screen.
Yeah, which is, I mean, they kind of already do that. Sorry, with the existing map where you can go from place to place to place to place depending on the console,
Right.
without load screens.
I would just like more concrete information
Yeah.
sooner rather than later.
I think one of the things that's inspired them to make some of the changes they're rumored to be making with like flying vehicles and exploring outside of just like the Highlands of Scotland and that is all the mods that they did. So they had opened up modding for PC players for Hogwarts Legacy, the first one. It was crazy what the community came up with. And so I think they're going to be drawing some inspiration from some of that in order to inform how we interact with the game for the second one.
That's actually like genuinely the only reason I've ever considered getting a PC, because I play on PS5. The mods that people put together are so cool.
Some of them are insane. Like the thing that would make me, if I just had the money to blow on it, the thing that would make me get a PC was the VR mod. Walking around because you could like hook up your PlayStation VR or whatever to it, walking around in Hogwarts, doing all the spells, riding on a broom, like riding on a broom, dude. You feel like you're riding on a broom and flying, or Thestral or whatever. That'd be sick.
That would be ridiculous.
Yeah. And then you
Ridiculous.
could integrate it with one of those, I forget what they're called, but they have these vests that have like these different vibration points. So like if you're hit by a spell, you could feel it. They got them for like Call of Duty and that kind of stuff, but you
That
feel
would
like
be
you're hit by a
so
spell.
cool.
Really feel like you're in it. Anyways, just more rumors for the video game. We don't have anything concrete yet, but it really needs to come soon. If they're going to integrate it at all with the TV show, they've got to get on that.
I think that's all we have for today.
That is. So until next time, you should probably keep your wands at the ready.
And also, stay magical. Vinny. Nah, 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 nah.